Hey guys, my name's Kizan and welcome to my channel where we're always writing it right. I am super excited about today's video because it is officially time for me to announce that this July I will be doing Camp NaNoWriMo. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Camp NaNoWriMo, then you may or may not have heard of NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month. Now, this is an event that happens November of every year where writers from all around the world come together to try and write 50,000 words in a month. So for NaNoWriMo, writing 50,000 words in a month is pretty much the standard goal, and the rules are a lot more strict when it comes to, usually you're not supposed to work on a project that you've already started and things of that nature. And the reason why I did the little air quotes is because you do have some people who are nano rebels who actually do participate in the real NaNoWriMo in November. However, they work on a project that they're already working on. And what me and a lot of other writers love about Camp NaNoWriMo in particular is that the rules are a lot more lenient on writers in that you really get to choose the goal that you have to set for yourself no matter where you are in a project. This could include editing, revising, restructuring a novel, rewriting, drafting, whatever the case may be. And I really love that because it's not so much pressure on you as a writer to have to conform to this one specific goal. With Camp NaNoWriMo, you can pretty much do whatever you want in whatever stage of your novel you want, and you can still really set that goal for yourself and get that external motivation. So welcome if you are new to my channel. However, if you are not, you would already know that I have won NaNoWriMo, the real one, in November in the past, just last year. And if you would like to see that video where I won NaNoWriMo, I will link that in the icon. Otherwise, if you kind of caught up with my whole NaNoWriMo journey and you kind of know what it's all about, it's time to actually get into the video where I kind of share my goals and what I hope to achieve during next month for Camp NaNoWriMo. So as you guys can see, last night I made sure to write all my goals for Camp NaNoWriMo down here in cursive because I wanted to be fancy and I wanted to have something that I could kind of go by as I'm doing this video. So if you see me looking down and or reading off of something, this is what that is. So the first thing that I want to talk about are my overall goals in terms of word count when it comes to before, during, and after Camp NaNoWriMo. So while I am going to go more in depth with the word count specifically, the main goal that I am going through Camp NaNoWriMo to begin with is to finish the first draft of my current project, Project Evergreen. Now I also have a playlist of all the vlogs in which I am working on or talking about Project Evergreen, so I will link that in the icon as well. At first, I was planning on doing Camp NaNoWriMo in April, but I figured since I was just about to get finished with 9th grade and I had a lot of end of the school year tests and stuff like that, I thought it wouldn't be the best time to put in that much effort. Eventually, at some point, I had given up on the idea of doing it in July as well, but then I thought about, the timing and everything, and I am going back to school August 10th approximately. So I was like, why not go ahead and take the opportunity to do Camp NaNoWriMo before I have to go to school and hopefully get my draft done before then. So that is when I kind of had a conversation with my mom because she's like my best friend and we talk about everything. And we pretty much just discussed the pros and cons of doing either or. I came with the decision that I would really like to get my first draft done next month and participate in Camp NaNoWriMo this year. So here we are. So now is when I'm going to get into my word count goals for before, during, and after Camp NaNoWriMo. So I've also stated this in a past video already, but at the end of my first draft, I want Project Evergreen to turn around 85 to 90K because I think that is kind of like the ideal range for YA fantasy, the genre that I'm writing in. And since I am planning on doing the standard 50,000 words next month for Camp NaNoWriMo, so I'll be drafting 50K, I said that I want to be at least at about 35K before the first of next month, so that way after I write that extra 50, hopefully I will be completely done with my draft. However, if I could get a little bit more, that would be great as well. During NaNoWriMo, I set my word count goal for the first draft as 50,000. So during next month, I am going to try my best to do the 50,000 words for the entire month. And that rounds out to about 1,667 words a day. Though again, this is always my motto. I think I always like to have a minimum goal so that way I can be at least a little bit flexible with myself. However, if I can get over that goal that I have kind of set, that would be awesome as well. And then finally, after NaNoWriMo, I hope for my draft to end up being anywhere from 85 to 95,000. 95 is the absolute max that I want to go with the draft one of my project, and even throughout revisions and all that, I think 95K is like the maximum that I want it to be. However, if I can get my first draft up there, I think that would be great. That way, if during revisions, after I let it sit for a little while, if I want to cut anything out or make any changes, I will have enough words where I can do that and still be in that ideal range that I have for the specific project. So next we're going to hop into my daily word count goals, or how many words I want to write at minimum every day for Camp NaNoWriMo. So of course, as I said earlier, the usual word count that they have for you to write every day in NaNoWriMo and or Camp NaNoWriMo is 1,667 words. However, because I participated in NaNoWriMo last year and I got to kind of see what the whole process is like, I think my maximum word count was like 2,500, and then my lowest word count was about 700. So the range was definitely very large last time, and I don't want to limit myself by saying that I want to do that exact amount of words every day. So if I was to get like 1,000 to like 1,200 words per day, I would still be satisfied with that because it's not so much short of that goal where I would have to do a lot of catching up. I would still be keeping that momentum as far as my word count and my progress with the book, and not really stress so much about trying to write too long, because of course every day is different, and I know realistically speaking, some days I'm going to be able to write longer than others. This next point kind of ties in with the daily word count that I have set up, but it's kind of this question that I've created for myself, and it is, which will be more important during the drafting process during Camp NaNoWriMo? Will it be the quality, as far as the quality of my words and how good I feel about my writing, or will it be quantity, or trying to really hit that daily word count every single day? And while I did have like an internal discussion with myself about this, because obviously I want to make sure that I get as many words as I can, and however, I did eventually decide that I think the quality of my writing is what I will be focusing on even more when it comes to the drafting process and further on into this whole project's timeline. This is because Project Evergreen is the first book that I'm really serious about actually traditionally publishing. Like, every story that I've written, I've always known that I wanted to be a traditionally published author, but with Project Evergreen, I have done the most studying, I've been the most cautious as far as when it comes to my writing. I've learned so much about plot and structure and character arcs and all these different things, and I really have the intent of Project Evergreen being my debut novel as a traditionally published author. And because of that, I want to be more, not necessarily hard on myself, but just more cautious about the quality of my words and the quality of my plot. If I have that set up well in the first draft, that'll be less work that I'll have to do later during the revision process. So even though it'll be really important to me to try to get those words in, I will definitely be making sure that I make the quality of my work the overall priority. And finally, I'm going to be discussing my post-nano plans, or pretty much what I plan to do with my drafts, whether or not I am finished with draft 1 after Camp NaNoWriMo. So if I have written those 50,000 words by the end of next month and my draft is complete, I plan to probably let it sit for about 2 weeks, maybe more or less, and then spend that time outlining and or world building for a couple of other projects that I have, and I'm super excited about those, so stay tuned on my channel because I will be discussing some other projects with you guys in the near future. However, if I do write those 50,000 words by the end of next month and say I'm not finished with my draft and it ends up being a little bit longer than I anticipated, I plan on writing at least about 500 words a day until I actually do finish draft 1. And I know 500 seems like kind of a small number, but I remember after last year of NaNoWriMo, I was a little, not burnt out, but you definitely do need some type of resting time after NaNoWriMo, because writing 50,000 words in a month is a big accomplishment. And while it's definitely so rewarding and I feel so good and so secure about myself as a writer after accomplishing that, it can also be very draining in a way, and you kind of need to replenish yourself afterwards, I find, to really get back into the flow and just to have some resting time. Giving myself this space to be able to write less afterwards, I think will be the best for my mental and physical health right after writing the 50K. That is pretty much my whole announcement / writing update about how I am doing in NaNoWriMo. I want to thank you guys so much for staying until the end and having this little talk with me and really just listening to what I have to say. Definitely be on the lookout next month. I plan to do 1 vlog every week, so that'll be about 4 vlogs next month where I really focus in on Camp NaNoWriMo, and a few days a week I'll just do a little vlog where I show you guys my progress and my word count, and as well on the first day I plan on showing you like whether or not I was able to hit that 35K, so stay tuned for that as well. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a humongous thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. It really does help me and my channel out a whole bunch. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.